log dated 14th of February 1977. There's been an incident on the ship. Two very able seamen were injured while trying to repair the hot water issues that we've been plagued with. And then sterilised thanks to Mr. Kobayashi's personal physician. However, we've no real med bay to keep them in. I've taken them off the duty rota for the time being and have them secured in one of the bunk rooms.
Welcome back to Monstrum. After the success of the Brute video, I knew for a fact I would be making another video. Today we will be doing something very similar to what we did last time, just on something a lot different from the Brute, a lot smaller. Today we will be talking about the Brute's younger, more disgusting sister. The Wizard. The Hunter. The Hunter. The Hunter, from what I've seen, is certainly the Monstrum community's least favorite of the monsters. And while most of that is most likely memes, the Hunter definitely has its place in Monstrum's list of monsters. Today I want to show you how the Hunter works, its lore, but also what I find interesting about it. I like to consider the Hunter an intermediate stealth monster. She can close you in and really constrict where you can go on the map, making for a interesting playstyle when going up against her. In natural play, I don't see a lot of the Hunter compared to the other two monsters. But in the making of this video, I've seen plenty of her. I'm sick of the Hunter. During your hazed and disorientated journey through the Hisa Maru, it can be overly quiet sometimes. The only sounds you do hear being the groans of the ship and sounds in the vents. But when the Hunter busts out of whenever it's in and spots you, you are suddenly hit with this absolutely vile, disgusting, and just annoying sound. Now that's not me hating it. I love it. Personally, compared to all the other monsters, the Hunter's theme is just overwhelming, loud, and I can't focus with it. I just don't know what to do whenever I hear it. It puts me in an immediate panic. And it gets even worse, because later on in the OST, it starts sampling the Hunter's screams. It is just ball-quenching, ass-punching, dick-twisting, just fucking terrible! The Hunter will use some interesting tactics to hunt you down on the Hisa Maru. When going across the ship, you can hear certain interesting sounds. That is the Hunter placing its pustule bulbs? Just these fucking things, okay? When they detect you, they will immediately burst out a brand new Hunter. Now, this doesn't add a second Hunter, but it sort of is a new one. We'll get into that later. Then immediately she'll be aggroed and start the chase. Now, these pustule eggs can either be active or inactive. Ones that are active will bubble about and move, but inactive ones are completely still and you can walk over them as much as you want. What I've noticed, while all three of the monsters tend to have the same sort of AI, the Hunter tends to lose chase a lot more than the other two monsters, which is interesting because I don't see many reasons that it would lose chase. It's very weird to me, but I assume it's because it will start placing a lot more traps to get the drop on you again. Now, these pustule traps are not the only things the hunter can pop out of. It can also pop out of vents. In fact, the hunter isn't a wandering monster at all. It's always in the vents. Technically, it's always right beside you, waiting for you to make a loud noise, and then it will immediately pop up out of a vent. Also, like the other monsters, you can stun the hunter with a fire extinguisher, and it will become aggro and hunt you down whenever you're spotted by one of the cameras in the upper decks. While not the most challenging out of the monsters, the hunter definitely earns its spot with all of its unique tactics to hunt you. When it comes to lore, I don't know what to tell you, but there's nothing. I've listened to and I've read everything, and there's nothing. This is the biggest problem with Monstrum's story, and I can't figure anything out outside of using context clues and stuff that's sort of related but not really. So I guess instead I'll offer you a theory of what I think, based on everything that I've read, heard. When it comes to Monstrum, all three of its monsters have pretty rough origins, two of them being made by whatever group Mr. Kobayashi is a part of, or funds, but the hunter is something else. I don't think the hunter is a part of whatever Kobayashi was doing. Now, a bunch of the notes talk about deep-sea dives that the Hisa Maru was conducting with their submarine, and based off of the way the hunter looks, it having translucent skin and very visible insides, could suggest that it's come from the deep sea. Now, I could have missed something. I find it very unlikely. I combed through everything as thoroughly as I could, but I might have. If I did, please tell me. And apart from that, that's it. That's all I've got for story. It's outstandingly empty. The hunter is this slender and small creature, the arms being abnormally long for a humanoid. The hunter noticeably has translucent skin, which is see-through, just like a lot of actual underwater deep-sea creatures. The hunter also has extremely long, ripping fingers with long fingernails. She has a tiny head which can split 3 ways open as her mouth, having outer teeth but also a layer of inner teeth. Unlike her hands, her feet are small and nimble with pointy claws at the end of the toes. Now, earlier I mentioned something about there being multiple hunters that can spawn out of the eggs it lays across the map. What I mean by this is that I think the hunter is this constantly evolving creature that can replicate itself near perfectly. Clearly, it doesn't have the consciousness to take advantage and, overwhelm you with hundreds of itself. That might also just be a gameplay thing. But clearly, it can be in multiple places at once. One hunter obviously going around the vents and the other hunters coming out of the bulbs that are placed by the initial hunter. I would just like to say thank you to everybody watching part 2 of this Monstrum lore series. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying it so far, and I can't wait to bring more of this interesting world forward to you. If you haven't seen it already, I would really appreciate it if you went back and watched the Brute video that I've done. And if this is the future, keep watching. These videos are pretty good. I hope you all have a good day, good night, good evening, good whatever, and I'll see you in the next one.